is up, my fellow fishing fans. On this video, I will be teaching you how to tie a Texas rig. Let's get to it. So what is a Texas rig? Some of you might be asking. Well, I can answer that for you. A Texas rig, which I have one right here, is a little weight up top right by my fingers. You can see that. It's shiny metal. A hook, which you can see right there, and just a little soft plastic. I have a crawl on right now. But now you might be asking, what are they used for? I normally throw those for bass. I mean, that's what they're for. I have caught catfish on them on accident, but not going into that. But what they're used for is to throw really just anywhere you want to, but be on the bottom. Have your bait in contact with the bottom of wherever you're fishing. Now, I like to throw mine anywhere I can, and as long as they're biting it, I'll throw it anywhere I can. I'll throw it by grass, I'll throw it by sticks, I'll throw it by old trees that fell on the water, I'll throw it in just the middle of nowhere where there's no anything, just bare bottom. I'll still throw it there. I'll throw it anywhere. As long as I know there's fish there, I will throw it. Now, you might be wondering how to work that. What I do is I get my rod here, I throw it out, I'll throw it out about, as close as I can really to where I want my bait to be. Like if the bass are up in grass, I'll throw it about an inch or two from that grass. And I'll give it to the rod little tiny pops, which I'll show you in just a minute. Just little tiny twitches, or I can drag the lure on the bottom. And those are the two ways that I work my Texas rigs and get the most bites. Now, I understand that Texas rigs can be scary to some. To some, they might not seem too scary. But to me personally, whenever I started fishing with Texas rigs, I was scared of them because I just didn't know what to do. But after years of experimenting, I finally found out one thing that I can do to help everyone who's watching this video is just to explain how to use them and how to tie them, actually. That's what I'm doing right now. So you start off with this little bullet weight. Now, I like 3/16 ounce, not too heavy, not too light. Just 3/16 ounce. Super easy to use. Now, what I do is I get my bullet weights. Now, you want the front going in right there. You can see, I'll get closer to the camera actually. Here. So you see the line, put it in there, and you just, there. Now it's on there, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You get your hook. I like a Gamakatsu 3/0 or 4/0 extra wide gap hook. That'll be, you look on the package and it'll say Gamakatsu. Probably don't get the G-Lock, that's not a good, it'll say Gamakatsu G-Lock, do not get that. I don't like that one as much. I just get the regular Gamakatsu offset shank hook that is either 3/0 or 4/0. That'll be 3-0 or 4-0. That stands for 3/0 or 4/0. Now what I do to tie my knots is I put the line through the eyelet there, pull about, I do it excessive, just make sure I don't mess it up. Just 12 inches, no, 10 inches, 10 to 12 inches of line pulled through the eye of the hook, and then I got that tag, and I feed it back through. I go back in right there. I'm been really bad at this. There we go. And I make sure they're both going through like that. And then what I do is I tie it like you know how you first start tying your shoe, you make that first cross? That's what I do, but with both tags of line, and it is not cooperating right now. Great. Okay, so you see, I got them crossed right there, and then I just feed that through. This is thick line, this is dumb, but just better for y'all to see. There we go. So I crossed them. I'm still holding that tag both tags, and then I get this loop that I made right there. I grab the hook and pull it through. You might need to watch that a few times just to see what I did. I just pull both ends of the line and it cinches down pretty good. And then I get this tag end right here, this part that's just hanging, this little bit, and I cut it. Where's my pliers? There they are. Go, and I cut it maybe 1/8 of an inch left, just right about there. Leave that much on there, and you're good. And now for the fun part, well, in my opinion, the bait. This is just a Rage Crawl, I think blue baby color, or blue crawl, I think that's what they call it, which is just green pumpkin with a little bit of blue in there. You can see it shines a little. I'll use this a lot in natural, where you need a natural presentation, just like clear water, or like where you can see maybe 10-12 inches in the water. I'll use this color a lot, and even in clearer places where you can see 18-20 inches in the water, I'll still use this. But so what you do, get the bait. You can see how there's a little groove. That's for this part of the hook. You'll see what I'm doing. You can see there's eyes on the top of that right there, and there's just no texture on the bottom there. So that will be the bottom, and the eyes, that'll be the top. So what I like to do to make this shaped right and straight and everything is I put the hook through the front of the bait right there, just all the way up to there. You see? As soon as that hook starts to bend, I stop pushing it up on the bait. And then I will poke it out just like this. And then you got it like that. So what I'm gonna do, oh, and make sure you're poking the hook out of the part of the bait that you want to be facing down towards the bottom. So I will push this up and twist. See, watch. It twists. And then I push it up onto that little eyelet right there. And that hides that knot partially. And plus this little weight's going to be coming down on top of that knot so the fish can't see it. But then what I do, it's just going to be hanging like that until you hook it better. So what I do is I line this hook up right there. You see where the bait's just dangling free, just hanging on its own weight. You see where it lines up. What I do is I twist the bait a little bit just to go flat with where you want the hook to go through. You see, this one's, wow, I actually did that pretty good. It lined up good, okay. On this one, it's easier to see where you put it in because it got that crack. But what I'll do is I'll hold it there, put my thumb at the very back of the hook right there, and I'll slide my hook across my fingernail until it goes into the bait. And then I know that it's in where it's supposed to be. So then I'll just poke it straight through. You see how it's like that? Poke it straight through, and then it comes out. Now you're not done yet. I know it might look like you're done, but you aren't. There's one more step. You gotta grab this plastic, pull it up a tiny bit, then poke it back in. That's called Texposing the hook whenever you're doing a Texas rig. That keeps it extra weedless, even more weedless than it would be before, and you can throw it in even thicker stuff if you want. And that's how you tie the Texas rig, and that's how you throw a plastic on there. You can do this with worm plastics, you can do this with lizard plastics, you can do this with any other plastic you want. I mean, you can get just regular worms, you can get brush hogs, you can get crawls. You can do that with all of this. Alright, how I throw a Texas rig. This is how I throw my Texas rigs. I will get the Texas rig and just I tie it just like how I showed you, and I will just throw it in. This is small cast because I don't know where the fish are. I'm just trying to show you. But what I'll do is I'll pop it, do little pops like that. I won't reel while I'm doing that. mistake that I see some people make. They'll reel and pop like this. That's not what you do. You cast it, let it sink. You can tell whenever it stops sinking because the line, while it's sinking, it will be going out. And then whenever it stops going out, that means that it's sunk. Then you just switch. Reel up the slack whenever you feel like there's too much slack in your line. Which normally I reel mine up whenever my rod's right about here, because then I'll still be able to feel the bite if I reel now. Then I'll reel down to about here. So basically anywhere from, think of a clock. Think of a clock. If you hit 1 o'clock with that rod, you reel down until your rod's maybe at 3 or 4 o'clock. Just think of it like a clock. Like this is the hand of a clock. So I work these things 2 ways. If you throw it out, let it sink, and then you reel your line tight, then you pull from that 3 to that, that you move your rod tip from 3 o'clock position to the 1 o'clock position. You do it decently slow. You do that all the way till you get up to the bank, then you reel in, make another cast. And another way you can work it is doing little hops like this. Just little hops like this. And what that's making that bait do whenever you do those little hops, it's just making it bounce on the bottom. But whenever you do that long drag, that's making it kind of scoot along the bottom. Just try those 2 different retrieves and see what the fish tell you to throw. They will, one retrieve they might not even look at, and the other way you do it, they might just go crazy for it. You never know until you try it each way. That's what I've learned. And most importantly, setting the hook. See, I've seen people sometimes go like this, set the hook, and one thing I can tell you right now, that is not how you do it with a Texas rig. You go out there, less convenient. I can teach you how to get a backlash out. Alright, well, to get a backlash out, you just keep pulling your line until it gets, until it gets right again. And like that. And I got a little more. A little more. There we go. So it's all straight. Reel up the slack. Now there's junk on the line there. Alright, so I see people sometimes set the hook like this. Just constant like that. But now how I like to set it, which this way might seem excessive, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's excessive. I just think it's it's just personal preference sometimes. And sometimes I feel like this just does it better. It gets the hook in the fish better. That's a fish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, you just saw how I set the hook, so that was a massive fish. Holy cow. And, well, you saw how to break your line, too, so, well, that's something. Yeah. Well, now you know how to set the hook with the Texas rig and how to break the line. That was a big fish. Holy cow. Wow. Well, yeah, I think I might be replacing my line sometime soon. Well, looks like that might be the next tutorial I'm doing. Alright, peace out, y'all.